part of my youth growing up is a friend of mine, but it is the one and only Michael Bivins from the group New Edition, Bivins of R&B. I mean, legendary. So he's on the phone with us right now, and I appreciate you taking some time out your day, Mike.
Oh, man, this isn't taking out time. This is what I do. I get up and rock with you. This is nothing. How y'all feeling this morning?
Fantastic, Michael. Were you a fan of Wiggy when he played for the Patriots?
I used to try to, follow him around on the field and see what it was. He was always an animated guy.
Yeah.
So I connected with him. And another great thing about it is Wiggy's is real cool with one of my brothers, Travis Bogarty. So
Yeah.
Wiggy is more than a football player. He's family. That's why he could call me and tell me to rock on the show. This is bigger than the Patriots. This is a real Boston thing. Steak and cheese subs and pizza and stuff like that. We are
yes.
extremely connected.
Well,
Yeah.
I
We
do
see
love
each other walking into the Celtics games. There's a whole bunch of fun stuff between Wig, and he's always the same person. That's the good thing about it.
I do love a good steak and cheese sub.
Yeah.
I don't like the American cheese on it though.
Ooh.
I go provolone.
Yeah.
Well, Michael, have you tried his Wiggy Parm yet?
The
No,
Wiggy
I didn't
Parms.
get to that, Wig. You might have to bring that to the concert. I'm going to have 18 people in the suite and 20 on the floor, so that's 38 palms, man. You got to come on with it.
Well, if anything, Mike, I'm going to Joe's in Dudley. We get a nice steak and cheese. Mike being obviously from the area, and Mike and
All right, we're doing this new thing, Mike. 5 questions. So Wiggy only has 5 questions. Do Courtney and I each get a question at the end or something, or how does that? Okay.
It's up to you.
Okay.
I mean, but I think it's good for for people to kind of get to know Michael and obviously New Edition and what they have. So my first question to you, Mike, is this: you got 5 kids from OP, Orchard Park, Roxbury, Massachusetts. They bring this sound of hip hop, soul, R&B. And, my biggest question is, who were some of your inspirations to inspire the music that now we've grown to love for 40 years?
Well, it all started with the Jackson 5. You got to understand, they were 5 black kids on TV, and they were on, the Phil Donahue show, and then they went into the cartoon. For any kid, that was all we could see enough. And then when we started getting into the Motown 25th show, we noticed in '83, which we were a part of Motown at the Apollo, and we weren't even on Motown. They just invited us because of our popularity. We started noticing the steps of the Temptations. So it kind of went in that order. It went from the Jackson 5 to the Temptations.
And that, by the way, that's the genesis for the name, right? Was that you were the new edition of the Jackson 5?
No, actually, we were the new edition of a group called Tavares. Remember that song, Penny for Your Thoughts and Nigga for a Kiss? Our manager must have met them somewhere, right, Greg? And they gave him a 8x10 publicity picture, black and white. And he looked at the picture and he said, hey, this is the name of the group, the new edition. And they were dressed in the suits and all of that. But his influence was Blue Magic. I'm not sure if you heard of that group. They were like a real cultural group with really big records, for my mamas and them. So his vision of what he liked is what he put on us. So it really wasn't our vision. The New Edition vision is the vision of Brooke Payne, not New Edition.
So, Mike, here's my 4th question, because a lot of...
4th? You're already at 4?
Oh, number 4. My second question, excuse me. I was going back in order.
Oh, okay.
So here's my second question. A lot of people don't know that you are big into basketball, especially youth basketball in the inner cities. There's a lot of leagues that you've created. I know you do a lot of stuff when it comes to basketball. You're a huge Celtics fan. What is one of your greatest sports memories?
Honestly, my wife was having my second child, 2008. I had season tickets. I was right behind the bench. I looked at the police officer's head every night, every game. And the clock was ticking down. The clock was ticking down with the Los Angeles Lakers. And you could tell we were about to win. And Paul, the security guards, Sam Cassell, Rondo, Ray, Kevin, they all looked at me, even Big Baby, and said, come on down. And so I get up out my seat. I'm right there in the 3rd row, and I run down. My wife is pregnant. I leave her. She's yelling at me, how you going to leave me? She doesn't understand ball is my love, so I run on the court. There's 2 minutes left. So think about it. That was the longest 2 minutes. And it's on ESPN, and you can see me standing right behind Paul. When Paul pours the Gatorade on Doc, the rest of the Gatorade went over my white linen jacket, my sneakers, my pants. I was looking like Santa Claus. I had red everywhere. I'm jumping up and down. And it's interesting, Greg, Court, and Wiggs. When the game is over, everyone's running on the court celebrating. But if you're a ball player, the most important thing at the end of the game is the ball. So while all the Celtics ran and hugged and jumped on each other, I ran and got the ball. Right? So check this out, Courtney. I had the rock. And then I said to myself, this isn't even my moment. So I ran over to Sam and I said, yo, you need to keep this rock. So I put it in his hand and gave him the ball. If any of you ever go up on the suite level in the garden, there's a big, huge 30 by 30, I guess, I don't know, even know what size. There's a big black and white picture of the end of the game when they did the team photo. Sam Cassell was over to the left holding the ball that I grabbed. That's my biggest moment.
And quick note, Michael, Greg left that game in the third quarter. So.
I did not. No, I did not. I don't think so. All right,
yeah,
Wiggy,
so
this is good. It's really good.
That was my moment. But I'm going to give you the backstory because this might be question 3. When Paul and Kev and Ray came together the August of that year, because you know this starts in October, I called the season tickets. I said, hey, I need to get more season tickets. Then I called TNT, and I said, listen, there's going to be a lot of live games, a lot of national games. You got to help me get in position to talk to these guys. They don't want to talk about statistics all the time. They want to talk about what car they're driving, what clothes they're wearing, what music. Let's create a show, and I'll be the host. So TNT created a show called Running the Point with Mike Bibb, and it started with the Celtics. Then I started interviewing Jordan and Kobe and everyone else in the league as the show started traveling around. So in actuality, Wiggs, my love for ball started as a host for TNT, and then it went into the championship. So what I couldn't accomplish as a ball player, I was able to live through the 2008 Celtics. So to me, in my head, from Orchard Park, I made it to the league through a TV show and being on the side of the court.
Hey,
so I'm the happiest kid in the world right now.
Hey, that's good. I know the feeling because, you know, being a kid from Boston and playing for the Pats, it's
well, also, I mean, somewhat of a baller myself. I don't know.
Yeah,
I played a little bit in high school.
You sat on the other edge of the bench.
Yeah, I mean, I did wear I wore 00 at Neshoba Regional High School. So.
Greg's talking about skee ball.
Yeah, I played more basketball than Greg did.
Maybe, you want to. Michael, you want to go one-on-one one day, me and you? Maybe we'll give that a go.
Listen, we don't even got to move fast, Greg. We could be the coolest guys on the court. We could eat, have a drink, talk a little bit, and then go score the basket. Yeah. We could play any way you want to play.
All right. Mike, I'm going to bring him down to Malcolm X Park, so in the summertime, so he could get his groove on down there. So my next question, Mike, is, when you think about New Edition, we've seen the band. Everybody's a personality, and there's always fun things on the road and the craziest thing on tour. Like, what's the craziest thing? Because we all know and love Bobby Brown. Like, what's the craziest thing that you and Bobby have ever been a part of, like on tour? Maybe like a funny situation or crazy situation that you guys were a part of.
Well, we've been through so much. I know people seeing the movie. We had a little bit of fist fights. We had a fight on stage in front of 10,000 people. I mean, I'm a very strong-minded guy, and and sometimes Bob could push you to the limit. So we're tussling in front of a crowd. They're wondering if this is a part of the act. It's not a part of the act. It's really just us being who we are, kids from the projects who just didn't realize we were in the music business yet. We were just, being those street kids. But it's interesting. Sunday, Bob was performing, and I guess he kind of got a little hot, needed a little air. So he kind of walked off stage in the second song, and he never came back. And the night before in Madison Square Garden, Saturday, I did a dance move, man, and I think I caught a Charlie horse in my calf. And so what happened was, we're in Baltimore. It's sold out. We just sold out Madison Square this past Saturday. Bob leaves on the second song. I couldn't dance no more. I gave it the best chance I could. I leave on the third song. I'm looking at him in the chair with the ambulance. They saying, do you need anything? I said, all I need is ice. So I'm ace bandaged up with ice like a basketball game. And I said, it would just happen to be me and you, huh? Me and you got to be the ones that mess up Baltimore. So that's the latest, most current story. And the great thing is, because the other 4 are so great, and there's 6 groups in one, besides New Edition, with 6 spinoffs, the 4 of them went and handled business. And all on social media, the post is saying, hey, 2 went down, but the other 4 held it down. And that's just a testament to New Edition's professionalism.
Mike, I feel like if you keep hurting yourself while dancing, you're going to have to change the name to Older Edition.
Oh,
we will never claim that. And the reason why that happened is because I think I was doing something in a new pair of boots, and it just was not the right thing. And the crazy thing is, Greg, the leg that hurt wasn't the one I was lifting in the air. I was doing the kid and play wigs. So I was stepping back, put the right leg up. I said, now how the hell does the left leg hurt and the right leg is the one in the air? I just said, you know what? I'm going to stretch more. That was my fault.
I mean,
Stretching's important.
I'd like to have you teach me one of those moves, but I think my pants would rip.
yeah. Michael, Greg hasn't tied his own shoes since college, so
He wears slides.
All right, Wiggy, next question.
He sounds like a perfect New Edition member. Come and get on the bus, man. Come and get on the bus.
All right, so Mike, this is question number 4 now. I think this one, I've kind of wondered this for a while, right? How proud are you as a group to know that you inspired groups like New Kids on the Block, groups like Boys to Men, Backstreet Boys, NSYNC. I mean, the list goes on and on of kind of, boy bands that you were able to aspire as a group. How proud are you to know that you kind of created this just like the Jackson 5, but you created it for a new movement of groups?
Man, it's a special feeling because Donnie and Danny and Joe and John and Jordan, every chance they get, they tell people how they feel about New Edition. Because, their name came from my name. So they're the new kids to our block. And I think it's really good when you hear them say that. We've done some things together. We just did the American Music Awards together in November. And that was a huge moment for Boston. And we'll probably be on tour in 2023 together because it'll be our 40th. And we want to tour with them, which would be the first. And I think me meeting Boys to Men in Philly and introducing them to the music business and what they did, they kind of introduced the Backstreet Boys and the NSYNC because New Kids are kind of with us. Mm-hmm. The Backstreet Boys, NSYNC, All for One, 98 Degrees, those type of groups, even the R&B groups, 112, Jagged Edge, they just put real singing back in the business. My goal with them wasn't to make them the best dancers because that wasn't their main thing. My goal to them is if the music caught off, what you going to do? So we were coming out of Milli Vanilli, and we saw what happened with them, lip syncing and people not thinking was real talent. If you listen to Boyz II Men's first album, I focused on the harmony, and then I put an a cappella record on the radio, which was the first in a long time. Radio would not play an a cappella record because they said it was dead airspace. Mm-hmm. But I said, there's no such thing as dead airspace. This is great singing, and you need to restore that because we just had this big confusion on who can sing and who cannot. After this, you won't have nobody showing up who can't sing because they'll feel like at any moment they'll be tested. That's how I feel. We put the realness back in the game. We made you step up your game and be true to who you are.
Mike, I know it's hard to pick, but I'm going to hold you accountable. Who in your mind is the greatest Celtic of all time?
That's an interesting question. And, it's tough because at the end of the day, it's hard. That's a really hard question, especially asking a point guard, where somebody might be into Ray and Larry who shoots a three. My first focus is going into Bob Cousy because Bob Cousy, to me, is my flair. If you want to know how I play, the things he was doing with the ball, throwing it behind his back, between his legs, that's my style. It might have not been great for a high school coach or a middle school coach, but it was damn sure great for the audience. So to me, the greatest Celtic of all time is Bob Cousy.
Wow.
All right.
That's a good one.
All right, Wiggy.
Last question, Mike, and I think this one obviously is one that we love around here in Boston. You guys have represented Boston for 40 years. Wherever I go, anytime New Edition, Belle Biv DeVoe song comes on, it's instant people to the dance floor. How is it that you guys have been able to, because we've seen a lot of groups come and go, you guys have been able to last the test of time, and you're still pushing it at a high level and still doing big things?
How does it feel, you said?
He said, how have you been able to do it?
Right.
I'm going to be honest.
The answer is Viagra. The answer is Viagra. Yes. Well, sorry, Michael. What?
Right. That works for you. I think the answer for us is, because of Belle Biv DeVoe, because of all of the spinoffs, we found ourselves being introduced to a new generation. When the movie came out in 2017, kids played us as kids. The kids that didn't grow up with us, whose parents did, they got into New Edition, Bobby Brown, Belle Biv DeVoe, and the music is timeless. So even if a kid is at their mom's birthday party or whoever's party and they don't know the music, when you see your aunts and your uncles singing like they're 15 and dancing like they're 14, it makes a kid laugh at them. Like, what is mom doing? She's crazy, but mom's showing you, this is who I love. This is the poster I had on my wall. So what keeps us going is the songs are so timeless and the generation keeps getting younger. And plus, we keep ourselves in great shape. That's how we could do a 90-minute show, with the exception of what happened to me Saturday. We are meant to be here for 39 years, and a lot of groups can't say that, and still selling out. And we're coming from the R&B side. We're not the Rolling Stones or U2, but we are the Rolling Stones and U2 from everyone of color. And that's what means the most to us. We represent that generation, But I would say this, and this is not a question. Hold on, Corey. Tomorrow, right, we are a couple of thousand away from selling out the Garden. And this is so important to me. We selling out everywhere. We're getting nothing but tickets and plaques. This is the only town with tomorrow's show that's 2,000 short. All I want to know is what's the power of WEEI to put 2,000 more seats in the Boston Garden.
We can do it.
That's all I ask. If you could do me a favor today and tomorrow, put the message out. We are too short from flushing out the Garden. Everybody else has stepped up. This is a hometown show with a hometown group with a hometown moment, and you guys happen to be the voice of the city. That's what I would say.
Yeah. We can do that.
I appreciate that.
And Mike, I want to thank you because Fenway over the summer, I got to watch Greg Hill scream like a 15-year-old girl during that concert, and my mom. My mom absolutely lost her mind.
Nice. And you know what, Court? If you go to Nesson, right, I don't know if you saw this, Nesson did a documentary on Belle Biv DeVoe. We did it together. It gives you the backstory of when we sang the national anthem in '85, Jim Rice and going behind the monster and all of this stuff. So if you can catch it, it's on Nesson TV. Then that way you can see the build up to the concert with New Kids. It's a tearjerker in one of the sections because they did a hell of a job. So that's out there if you three want to catch it. It's a really great piece.
I watched it. It was incredible. Yeah. Two of the people that produced it, Justine and Mike Emond, are good friends of mine.
Oh, my God. Justine P. That's my girl. Oh, my God.
They did a great job.
To her every other day. Did she not kill it? Did she not kill it?
Yep.
Oh, my God. Yeah, I love this. So we are connected, and I didn't even know, Wig. Thank you for bringing me to the family. This is beautiful.
And also, Danny Wood is a regular listener of the show. He calls us from Florida, and he sends text messages in all the time. So,
I like D. We was doing a lot of talking together in rehearsals before the music awards. So I made sure he was standing next to me, and I gave him the inside scoop. So we connected each group. Me and him had our own conversations every rehearsal. I love D. Wood. Absolutely.
All right, well, Wiggy's going to be there tomorrow night. He needs 14 backstage passes, so just and I got to tell you something, Mike. It's been Wiggy, great get.
Yeah, I mean he's a legend, man.
And it's been an honor to have you on the show, and I welcome you back to the Greg Hill Show anytime you would like. Anytime
you're
in the city, come in here. We'll talk Celtics. We'll talk music.
Yes.
We'll talk anything you want, anytime you
We'll
want.
be at the Capitol Grill tonight if you're around.
Yes, we are. We're doing
Yes.
we're doing an event tonight. You want to come by for a free Aperol
Well,
Spritz on Wiggy and I?
Yeah. I'm in Connecticut. I'm driving up with the family tomorrow, so I'm going to catch another one. But what I'm going to do is get everyone's sizes, and I want to shoot all of y'all these BBD poison hats so that you can have that in your closet. So I'm going to make sure that gets to the studio ASAP. All right?
You know, I already got some of that Sporty Rich gear in my closet.
Speaking.
Oh, you know how we do. You know how we do.
Before you go, speaking of poison.
Oh no,
What?
I know what you're gonna ask.
Oh, this is the bonus question.
Yeah.
It's a bonus question. Was that written?
Yes, ma'am.
Was that written about one specific woman?
I don't know. It seems like there's a lot of them around the country, so I guess the name fits you wear it. I don't know, Greg. Have you seen one in your passing through life? How many have you seen?
I feel like at times they're all poison. I mean, I don't want to generalize. I don't want to be sexist.
Interesting.
He doesn't know what to do with a big button and smile.
Oh my
You
God!
can't handle
Yeah,
it.
I said earlier.
Look in the
You
mirror,
can't
Greg. You'll
handle
see a
it,
big
Court.
button.
You can't handle it.
I don't understand why I can't trust a big button, a smile. It's my big issue.
Oh my God! Oh God!
right.
Well, keep being in that seat. It probably keeps you out of trouble. I love it.
I think it
Let's
does.
do
I
it.
think it does. All right, Mike Bivins, unbelievable get
Okay.
by
Good
Wiggy.
job, Wiggy.
Great to
Appreciate
have
it,
you on.
fam.
We'll help you sell the show out for tomorrow night, and I thank you very much for joining us this morning. All right, Mike. Thank you. Wow, good get. Wiggy.
Yeah, that was great.
That was a
So
great
make
guess.
sure everybody go TD God, and they're going to be there tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Them, Charlie Wilson, Jodeci. Make sure you
Wiggy will be there.
I'll definitely be there.
Wiggy
Yes.
will get on stage.